Well, since we were talking about Kerala, let's put the spotlight on the state of Kerala and how the government there decided to any which ways go ahead and ease the COVID restrictions to a large extent on account of the Eid festival. Now, the Supreme Court did not approve of it. The Supreme Court pulled up the state government in terms of asking them, why are you doing this? What if the cases go up tomorrow? We're going to hold you responsible if there is any spike in cases. But the government stuck to its stand, and they said that it is required. Even people after months of lockdown need some kind of respite. So the Kerala government said that we have eased the curbs for distressed traders, that people are frustrated with the lockdown, that lockdown cannot be extended indefinitely, and experts say strong third wave is unlikely in the state. The Supreme Court, on the other hand, said that the state has given into pressure groups. That unlocking areas with high infection rate is a very alarming move that the state has taken. Relaxations show sorry state of affairs in Kerala. Pressure groups cannot interfere with right to life. Now, today is actually the third day, and we've seen in the visuals that have come, there are quite a few examples of crowding that has taken place as people throng to the markets to shop ahead of Eid. Kerala, by the way, accounts for nearly a third of the active cases in our country today. Right on top of the list is Maharashtra, as it has been for large parts of the last 1.5 years. And then there is Kerala. And in Kerala, in fact, something very unique has happened in the last few weeks, where cases have actually gone down in many other parts of the country, but in Kerala, they have continued to remain high. 12,000, 13,000 cases on an everyday basis. The positivity rate has constantly remained above 10%. Whereas before the second wave, if you really see in March or April, the positivity rate was less than half of this. So they have seen lower cases. They have seen a lower positivity rate. But that's not happening right now. And despite that, the Kerala government has decided to go ahead and allow this. After the whole controversy around Kumbh Mela and how it led to spike in cases, after the whole controversy around Kavod Yatra and how crowding cannot be allowed, it really is very difficult to understand why in Kerala the government decided to go ahead with this. So we thought we will ask our panelists if there is a different kind of explanation. Dr. Anish T.S., Associate Professor for Community Medicine, Government Medical College in Tripura, member of the expert panel for the COVID-19 for Government of Kerala. Dr. Jayalal, President of the Indian Medical Association, and Professor Dinesh Varshney, leader of the CPI. Professor Varshney, let me start off with you. Day after day, we are talking about a third wave. Kerala is already the second highest state in terms of numbers of daily cases and active cases. Was it so essential to allow people to go shopping right now?
Look, Tanvi, I would like to bring a fact in front of you. Though in principle I agree with the observations of the Honorable Supreme Court and we must respect it. But please tell me, wherever there is a population pressure, which markets are closed in the country on the occasion of the Eid or on the occasion of incoming Raksha Bandhan or in incoming other festivals or earlier festivals? I have spoken to the businessmen in Bombay, UP, Uttarakhand, Bhopal, everywhere today, almost all 17, 18 towns. They said कि sir, Eid, Holi, Diwali की सेल एक जगह और पूरे साल की सेल एक जगह. And we have already incurred huge losses because of lockdown from last 1.5 years. That is their problem. Though the people of Kerala is highly literate, it is the highest literate state of the country. I believe the people of India, Kerala will maintain the COVID protocol. But I agree with the statement of the Kerala government in front of the Honorable Supreme Court that unlimited lockdown cannot go on. Distress sale has to be avoided. So if you make a market open for one day, then it will be a distress sale. If you open for 3 days, it will not be a heavy crowd. So you have to see a sociological point of view also. So, but it is not a question of giving up to the pressure group.
No, so
It's a
Professor
question of
Varshney, that
seeing the adjustability towards the
how
cause of
is
the
the
society, towards the
sociological,
cause of the health
Professor
of the
Varshney, by the logic of economics, then we should allow all tourists to go everywhere into the hill stations from Maharashtra to Coorg to Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh. Why all the uproar about tourists going there? By that logic, if people need a break, we should hold more of Kumbh Melas, more of Kawad Yatras. Why all the uproar about those things? Fact of the matter is, when you are the highest number of cases state in the country, can you afford to do this?
Tell me, other than the colleges and schools, other than the university, colleges and schools, everything is open in the entire country. See the roads of the Delhi, see the roads of the Noida, see the roads of the Gurgaon. There was a traffic jam in Gurgaon for 2.5 hours. Friend of mine who was to visit me in my party office came 3 hours late. See, everything is open other than colleges and university in this country. That does not mean I am not supporting the COVID restrictions.
Okay, let me take this point across. Let me take this point across to the expert who we have, and I'll come back to you, Professor Varshney. Dr. Anish, let's try and understand this from you, because you have a closer understanding of Kerala's numbers. The positivity rate continues to be above 10%. Every day, high number of cases are still getting registered. It's not the same situation in rest of the country. In Delhi, there are cases, every day the daily cases are less than 50. It's not the same.
Thank you, Tanvi. I may be just be able to be with you maybe a few more minutes, then I want to go to another meeting. So about the Kerala strategy, actually we are opening only the shops, but we are not allowing the religious festival to happen or something like that. We are allowing the shops to be open for 3 days. So there was even the IMA unit of Kerala was arguing that Kerala's fight against COVID is not proper. The lockdown strategy is not proper because we are opening the shops only a few days in a week. So that will add to a super spreading kind of things. So you have to open all the shops on all day. Sometimes it may that we are actually in a dilemma whether it has to be open on all days or it has to be restricted to a few days. If you open it a few days, there will be a big crowd that we are witnessing all over the country. But this is just like a pilot testing that we can see what is happening if you are opening it for 3 days. It's only for 3 days. It is not a seasonal festival. It is actually a festival that is on this particular day. And there will be some economical activity will be taking place and there will be some kind of problem will be solved for the local merchants and all these things are there. If you look at Europe, because of high vaccination and all, they are actually not going for strict protocols. But even in India, we do not know when we can have some kind of relaxations. So Kerala may be the best state that they can afford. I appreciate that we have got large number of infections, but in terms of vaccination, Kerala is one of the number one state in India. And because of COVID protocol observed by people, it is actually one of the best. Never we have surged to something that our systems are flooded or something like that. So it is only a 3 days matter and we will know what is going to happen. Definitely there is a risk is involved and it is the restriction should be there. And today, Chief Minister of Kerala conducted a meeting and tomorrow onwards, the restrictions will be stricter than the previous days. Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Anish, thank you for joining us, with your insights on this. I'm going to take this point across to Dr. Jayalal as well. IMA and, especially the Kerala unit of IMA has been extremely concerned with this decision that was taken, Dr. Jayalal. Do you disagree with what Dr. Anish is saying, that we are not allowing festivals or large-scale prayer congregations to take place, we are only opening a few shops?
It is unfortunate COVID task force, Dr. Anish is taking a statement like only 3 days we are allowing this and nothing will happen. I mean, this is very, in the COVID pandemic, you cannot take 1 day or 2 days. It is a relaxation period and the coronavirus will also go for a rest. And we need to maintain a sustainable pressure on the pandemic vigilance has to be there. What Indian Medical Association, right from the day one, we are opposing the view of intermittent lockdown, which has been practiced in Kerala. When we are practicing an intermittent lockdown, Saturday, Sunday, full lockdown, and the rest of the day it is free, the people will be coming in a large number, the crowding will happen. The IMA is demanding that at any cost, the crowding should be avoided. This Bakrid is coming, the government knows very well. They know it is not happening, happening on this day. Instead of giving a 3 days and at a stretch the relaxation, if they planned in such a way, this the purchase and everything is happening in a localized level or at their doorstep, it has been published. Definitely this issue will not be coming. We are also saying that there's a continuous sustained lockdown is a need of the hour. Only thing what we say that's a big malls, big shopping malls should be avoided. The local shops and local area of the shops available should be encouraged so that the people can come at their leisure time, they can get it and avoiding the crowding. So at any count, we cannot accept the policies now being implemented for the 3 days relaxation. That will definitely going to be the disastrous effect for the COVID in the state. And not only this, they are now allowing offline examination for all the people. Then we are getting repeated complaints from the lot of people. That's offline examinations for the technical education, offline examination for this is happening. If the state has already produced a positive rate in curtailing the COVID, and if there is a positive rate is less, yes, these are acceptable, but not taking a heroistic move that I will open everything and all the exams will be conducted offline, everybody has to travel, then definitely there is no possibility that COVID can be controlled in this state in the recent days.
Okay. Let me bring in Dr. Rajiv Das Gupta as well. Dr. Das Gupta, in fact, has been on a lot of the conversations we've had, similar conversations about crowding, whether it was the tourist hotspots, whether it was, the religious events being planned in Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, or now this one in Kerala. Dr. Das Gupta, do you see merit in the argument that is being given by one side to say, wait, we're not opening up everything. We're not saying large-scale congregations are going to be allowed. We're only saying we're opening the shops, that too for 3 days, so that people can get out, get some breather, relief, shop a little ahead of the festival, and that this will not impact the COVID situation much.
Thank you. Well, to highlight Kerala's COVID situation first, the positivity rate is certainly the highest in the country among the large states. It's 10 plus, 10.6 or so. The daily cases per million is 278, which is 278 cases per million population, in contrast to the national average, which is at about 21 now. This is not to say Kerala is testing less. Kerala is actually testing more. In terms of daily tests per million, Kerala is testing nearly double the national average. So if you sum it up, Kerala's condition is certainly a matter of concern. And add to that the fact that the Supreme Court has actually been very consistent in terms of its observations over the Kanwar Yatra earlier and now on this issue. And as Dr. Tharoor also pointed out a little while earlier, that the state seems to have got the balance wrong. At the political level, one can appreciate the pressure to maintain this balance. And therefore, I do agree with what Dr. Jayalal said, and it's always been my personal view also, that rather than putting things into a very narrow window, it actually doesn't make sense even in some states to say that we are opening the daily market only from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. or 3 hours in the morning, something like that. What Dr. Jayalal and IMA therefore is essentially saying is to space it out over a larger time frame, whether in number of days or number of hours. And this is not to negate the needs that people have, whether it's in terms of daily shopping or some special occasions. But it is all about getting the balance right, and that's something which isn't quite right, as seems to be the case.
It is about maintaining the balance, Professor Vaishnav, which is not something that is visible in Kerala's case. Your response is exactly what I even asked Shashi Tharoor, where he actually empathized also with the government to say, I know this is not an easy decision to take. And I'm glad we're not the ones who has to take this decision. But at the end of the day, you have to think about saving lives right now as well.
Look, tell me, I again repeat, please tell me which markets in the countries are closed. Tell me any state in the country where the markets are not open. Throughout the country, markets are open. I again repeat, other than the school and colleges, everything is open in this country. Everything is open in this country. That does not mean I do not support the COVID protocols. I do support the COVID protocols. And I again repeat, prevention is better than precautions, and prevention are better than the cure. But at the same time, please try to understand, I again say, ask any businessman, any petty shopkeeper or any shopkeeper, वो सब कहते हैं होली, दिवाली, रक्षाबंधन और ईद और ये जो ओणम and all these type of festival, sale is one place and entire year sale is at one place. So उनकी भी मजबूरी समझिए. Since then the demonetization, these shopkeepers are suffering. Demonetization, wrong implementation of GST, then the lockdowns, these type of thing problem is there. Second thing is, I agree with Dr. Lal, I agree with the Professor Das also, that balancing act has to be acted. And you have no other option. You have no other option. But at the same time, we request the people of Kerala to see to it that the cooperation should not be there. They try to avoid unnecessary going out on markets or other things. This only we can do this thing.
Okay. Okay. Point taken. I am completely out of time on this conversation. So thank you to all three panelists who joined us on this conversation as well. One thing is for sure. The Supreme Court seems to have won the Kerala government, but the Supreme Court did not step in now to tell them to stop or shut the shops down, because also it was too late. Today was the third day and it was a 3-day relaxation only. But the Supreme Court did say that if there is a spike, then there will be accountability. And I think that is what everybody will be watching out for. Because if if Kerala government is able to tide through this in the next couple of weeks, then perhaps there could be some kind of a messaging here also for the other states who begin to prepare for the upcoming festival season. Some kind of balancing where you allow people a little bit of movement, but you still keep everything in check. Open the shops, but don't have large-scale congregations. We wait and watch what happens next. Thank you so much for joining us on this conversation.